because for me, I felt like I went through a lot of my own struggles. Everybody does. Like a big chunk of it has been relationships, but that is where it was more of a healing on myself rather than the relationship itself. The first meditation, she already came through. Like, my name is Abraham. I'm here, right? And the funny thing is, like, I was telling my coach, like, she was guiding me to connect with my higher self, that they were saying that, I need to add trans channeling to my business. A lot of emotional stuff has been happening. My old self has been going, and the new identity has been coming for me, but it's been a battle between these two. So open your eyes to what matters the most. And that is when you will actually experience the change in your life. You will actually attract what you are meant to have in your life.
Hey girl, hey.
Hi, how are
What's
you?
up? Good to
I'm
see you.
good to see you too. How are you?
I'm good. I picked a terrible spot because like the sun keeps moving and I keep getting blinded. So we're just gonna wing it. It's gonna be great.
Are you sure you want to move somewhere
No,
else? I
I've
mean, it's a
moved like 10
beautiful,
times.
it's a beautiful background. I love
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
I think since we last talked, I've done like about 6 sessions with people, and I don't know if you want. So I have done channel messages for people for yeah, with it was for my doctor teacher Abraham, and she came through and she was spot on with everything. So if you want, I can channel. I mean,
Heck yeah.
she would like to speak before I did a whole like ritual before our call.
Oh my gosh, I'm totally on board with this. This is beautiful.
Yes.
Love it.
So whoever watches this on replay, it will like hit them on spot. It's meant for them. But
Lovely.
yeah, but she wanted to say stuff. She's like, she wants me to channel her, and even goddesses of light, or if you want me to do light language healing for whatever the call brings through, right?
Yes, yes, all of this. Yes.
And then
I love it.
I have my oracle card, like whatever you want. So like,
Yes.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay. I'm like so excited now. Yes.
I mean, a lot of kind of changed since we last talked. I was like, oh, I forgot to update her on that.
No, this is just a continuation. I love
Yeah.
this. And who knows, we might have a second call. So or a
Yes, and
third, rather.
I mean, a lot of people are just having it's more of getting clarification and validation on their next steps, and those are the people that have come through me since last week. So yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, so to start, tell me a little bit about your brand, your business, the people that you help, the types of services that you offer, and just what you're all about.
Yeah. Well, my name is Money Par, and that's my name. I'm very proud of it. But the business that I have come together, that has been put together, I would say it has totally has happened through the universe unfolding itself one step at a time, where I can actually help people, empower them, get the clarity what they need. Because for me, I felt like I went through a lot of my own struggles. Everybody does. Like a big chunk of it has been relationships, but that is where it was more of a healing on myself rather than the relationship itself. So once I started healing myself, like the universe came through, spirit guides, like everything has like totally like shifted for me. And I feel like this is what I'm here to do in this world. This is my sole purpose. I mean, I remember like probably 6 years ago, like, what am I here to do on this earth? I want to do something. And I think that's the longing I've always had. But it just never came through as fast as it would have for people. But I think it was the process of learning some lessons along the way, being patient, a lot of releasing and letting go. And I think this is what I want to do for people. And this is what I stand by for my business.
I love that because you and I both came from the medical world
Yeah.
where we got into that work to serve people, but it still just wasn't the right avenue for serving people. So, what was that transition like for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, nursing was like not of a something that I was passionate about. I mean, it was more of something I had to fulfill as being an Indian, raised up in an Indian family. Like our standards are pretty high when it comes to career. So like doctors, lawyer, I mean, nurse was just like fine. Like I don't, that's the closest I'll get, but I don't think so. That was something they were proud of anyway. So it was like a struggle with like trying to keep up with what was expected of me. And finally, when I got married to my husband, started to stand up for myself because my parents did not approve of that marriage. So had to stand up for myself what I wanted. And I actually stopped being a nurse when I had my daughter, and through those times, like I just wanted to be there for my daughter. I wanted to like take care of her. I wanted to see her grow in front of my eyes. So I chose to be a stay-at-home mom. And through that process, I think becoming a mom and taking care of her, I actually had the time to find out what I really wanted and really connect with who I was. So I think it's all thanks to motherhood that actually brought me here today.
That is beautiful. And I'm sure that, it's a balance taking care of yourself and taking care of a little one. And then you've got this business on top of it. But it seems like you have found a really beautiful way of making it all very cohesive, where it all talks and you still have flexibility.
Oh yes. I mean, it wasn't easy at first, because I'm not a type of person that likes to talk. It was a lot to do with like up leveling myself, because talking in front of people is not something I'm like I used to do before. I used to be scared of it, scared to make mistakes, scared to be my authentic self, because everyone that I see around me, they're so perfect. Like they know how to speak. Like they walk into a room and they're just like that's how my husband is, right? And it's just amazing. And I've wanted to be someone like that, but it felt like it was difficult because I didn't believe in myself, right? It's all these things from childhood that I felt I was not never good enough. I need to be someone like someone else that I'm looking, right? But it eventually came to a point where I started like talking. I kept on forcing myself. I went on a Facebook live. This was like 6 years ago. I just made a live, went on it, and the only people showed up were my families. But I kept on going because I needed to push myself. And I glad I did that. But eventually when my business, I started figuring out I was all into all type of business. Like what was I doing? Like Shopifying, drop shipping, blogging, YouTubing, right? YouTuber. And then affiliate marketing, business coaching, women empowerment. Oh my God. Like I have like changed through like so many business, and it was difficult because I was also following that structural thing, like you need to post 3 times a day, you need to do this. If you banish, then people are not going to like you, whatever. And then top of that, taking care of my daughter, right? And it was difficult. Like there was times when I would be crying a lot because it felt like I couldn't manage everything all at once. um like I said, like I thought there was something wrong with me. So there's times I would put my business away, take care of my daughter, or then it was things has been all over. It's like a learning curve, and I think everybody has to balance it in their own way. So for me, it's just I post content when I feel like it, you know. So what that means is that if I wake up, like I don't wake up super early. Like there's times when you hear on internet you need to wake up early before your kid and set the tone for the day. I mean, I still do that, but not like crazy early. So the earliest I have managed to do is 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's been a perfect thing. Wake up, meditate, work on myself, have myself like relax, warm tea, and before she when she wakes up, it's just a breeze. Everything goes as breeze. And I'm still learning. I'm not saying it's perfect. I don't have it all figured out because there's times when the cleaning the house kind of comes in the way. So it's like we have so many duties, right? Cooking, cleaning, business. So there's days I wake up, I'm like, oh my God, like, what do I do? So I let myself be lazy sometimes and just let things go messy. And my husband totally supports that. Like, he doesn't come home like, oh, everything's messy. He's just like, yeah, go ahead, relax. Don't worry, go watch TV. Like, and I'm glad I have a partner that supports me to just relax because he understands that it's not easy. Even though I'm staying home, it's not easy, you know? So yeah, it is
I
so
love
wonderful.
that for you so much. I'm gonna move my tripod a little bit. Um, I think I think you're touching on something that I've had to learn the hard way, and being in marketing and being in corporate America, which is very rigid and structured, and you have these long 8, 9, 10 hour work days and all of these meetings lined up, and then the parenting used to have to fall at the end of the day or really early in the day. Like, you had to, what am I trying to say here? Coming from that corporate America, work your ass off universe to working from home, or even just like having your own business, it is essential to tap into your own flow. And it took me so long to figure that out, because I would still get up and try to plan my day as if I were in the office.
Mhm.
And that doesn't work when your kiddo gets an ouchie. And it doesn't work when you don't feel inspired to post on TikTok. And we're energetic beings that are, we have so much going on with us, but we're also interacting with the universe. So I'm just so glad that you have figured that out. I love that.
Yeah. And and it's not perfect, and there's days that I still like. I think I was crying like last week, 2, 3 times a week. Like I cry a lot, and I cry in front of my daughter. So I don't go hide and cry. I want her to see that, mommy has emotions, and sometimes like she gets exhausted, she's tired, and I mean, I'm not blaming her for it, but I'm just telling her like it would be nice if you can help me, you know but my daughter's 7 years old, so like I asked her like it'd be nice if you can clean up after yourself. Like it helps me because I wake up early, I try to prepare your food, I do everything for you so the day goes easy for you. The only thing I ask from you is just clean up after yourself. And then she's like, yeah, that's right. That's the least I can do. Like she knows, like when you talk to her, like when I say stuff like that, she's like, she understands it. But again, she's a kid, she's gonna make the same mistake again. So
And she's going to make messes, because I also have a 7-year old, and she's very tidy, and she actually enjoys cleaning up, and she enjoys the responsibility of having a task that she's accountable for. But she still makes lots of messes. but I have the same strategy where I just really try to show her the authentic experience of motherhood, because I don't want her to feel like she has to be perfect all the time and try to achieve these lofty ideals, because I just don't think that that's the way that our world is headed anymore. We used to have to fit in these boxes, and now with us running the show and having the spiritual business, it's a very strong move into authenticity, and authenticity is something that's always changing.
yeah.
And yeah, I love that. I wish I had that patience and wisdom like 7 years ago, like when she
All
wasn't
right.
around.
Yeah. I always think about it like, how come I didn't do this sooner? Right. I felt like it was just a process. It was a lesson. I mean, I learned a lot within these 6 years than I ever did before, right? These 6 years, I felt like for me was so vital. It was so like it was a battle within me, battle with everyone around me. Like it was crazy, but it also made me understand like especially recently, because my business has shifted in like a lot. Like ever since I have actually connected with my spirit guide, doctor teacher, her name is Abraham, and she has helped me like shift everything. So it took 6 years and it was going slowly. I felt like there was a lot of realignment, releasing and letting go within these 6 years. But now, when things started moving like this, I would not even like, I'm not even joking. It's been like in less than a week, my business has changed. In less than a week, I have changed. In less than a week, so much has changed. I mean, since we last talked, actually.
Tell me more about that, because our last conversation was the day before Halloween, and we were talking a lot about how our business models and niches have changed a bit. But it sounds like you have like entered into warp speed, my friend. Like you have all these different clairs coming online and a channeling abilities, and it just sounds like you are bubbling up like a wellspring. I want to hear more about this.
Oh, wow. Like, yeah, honestly, like, I have help from my coaches and we all need help, right? So I'm part of a program where I'm learning to trans channel, and trans channeling meaning trans channeling my spirit guides, right? And the success was amazing. And I've been in this program for only 1 month, but I was so excited about trans channeling, helping people, that I would practice trans channeling Dr. Teacher Abraham like a lot. The first meditation, she already came through, like, my name is Abraham, I'm here, right? And the funny thing is, like, I was telling my coach, like, she was guiding me to connect with my higher self, that they were saying that, I need to add trans channeling to my business. And my coach, like, this, it's too advanced for you right now, right? You're not ready yet. I wouldn't suggest to do that. So that's why I held back. But I kept on trans channeling. My doctor teacher kept on talking to her. And then out of nowhere, I had this laid out plan just came to me. You need to do healing sessions. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do healing sessions. And I did it on past one of my past client, and it was just practice. I call it practice so I don't overwhelm myself. So I got on a call with her, and then for the heck of it, I had this weird nudge. Abraham's like, let me channel for her. I'm like, okay. And then I told her, look, I'm just practicing here. I did not even ask my coach. So let me do this. So I just trans channeled Abraham through me, and she was like, you're right on point. Like, everything Abraham was saying was right on point. And
That is beautiful.
ever since then, I've been like trans channeling Abraham. Like right when we get on the call, like I trans channel people, so that way they don't have anything like, well, she already knows a lot of information about me. No, I get no information or nothing. Let's just trans channel first. And then whatever Abraham says, we go on with it, talk about it, and whatever healing needs to be done, we do the healing. And it's been, like I said, with less than a week, like that's what it has changed. Goddess of light, like my pendulum just guided me, like, hey, you need to connect with goddesses of light, go do a meditation on that, like connect with them. I did that. The next day I get on a call with this client. I'm not even gonna tell you, like, she was the goddess of light, the message was for her. That client needed to connect with goddess of light, and I had the names
Wow.
and everything. And I'm not even like, on that call, her grandmother was in the like her grandmother wanted to join the session.
Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. Well, how do you see this changing your business? Because I feel like this is like this is a whole another offshoot from your helping people with their relationships and how to have healthy relationships with themselves and with other people. Like, have you figured out how you're going to integrate this into your coaching?
Honestly, it feels like it's more of just going out there and doing healing, and the only integration I see is just being, I guess, being the light for the people with whatever they need. Relationships, some people do, if they do come through for the relationship, I feel like I would guide them on it. But for now, the people that are coming through me, like for my help, are the one that are seeking clarity and just validation. Like they want some type of encouragement. Like they know what they want. It's not that they don't know. It's their doubts within their head because their past self has probably went through a lot or went through failures and they don't trust themselves enough. So when they get on a call with me, they have everything. Is just they need somebody to tell them it's right. It's the right path. This is the next step, you know?
That confirmation, yes.
Yeah,
That
it's
is beautiful. Well, I think we need to probably hear from Abraham. I feel like this might be important. Would you be interested in channeling a little bit? And may I be a recipient?
yeah, do you want me to channel for you or just the audience itself?
Can we do both?
Yeah. I mean, we can do you first if you
Okay.
want.
I'm nervous. I've been
Okay.
going through a lot of relationship changes, right? Well, I can't say it that way. My relationship has been going through a lot of changes here recently. So I'm intrigued to see what Abraham has to say.
Okay. Well, let's see what she says. I can't guarantee what she's gonna say will make sense. But, yeah. When she comes through, it takes a minute for me sometimes. But let's see what she has to say for Leslie. Hi, Leslie. Thank you for having me here for this interview. Wow, I did have a lot to say for the audience, but I would like to talk about you first. You are a amazing human being, first of all. You have an amazing aura within you. I sense that you have a lot to accomplish and you are going to accomplish it. Not because uh, that is what I want to make you feel better, but you are determined, you're courageous, you are so willingly to get to the end of what you want to achieve that there's no way there's anything that could stop you. There may be obstacles that comes in between your way, but you know what, Leslie? You're gonna go through that. You're gonna walk through that stairs. You're gonna walk through that staircase to the end of that door where you open nothing but these beautiful, beautiful greenery, beautiful light, beautiful stuff that you have been wanting to have. I sense you are seeking financial abundance. And let me just tell you, the financial abundance will come. But you know what comes first? You, self love. I'm sensing self love has been missing in your life right now, but that's okay. This is what I'm here to tell you. Love yourself, trust yourself, because the steps you have been making is going to be life changing, not just for you, but everyone else. I sense a healer within you, person that guides people, shows them the path, because that is what you're meant to do. That is what you're here to do. And knowing that I have had the opportunity to connect with a beautiful and amazing soul like you, there is a light growing within you and it's growing brighter and brighter. Just let it shine. I say, let it shine, Leslie, because it's happening. I'm here to confirm it is happening. You do not need nothing from me. Um, I since you did say something about relationships, I have to say your relationships are gonna go smoothly and they are going smoothly. There are certain shifts that are happening within those relationships, but those are indeed that needs to be let go, what doesn't serve you, making room for what you truly deserve in these relationships because you deserve nothing but the best. And that's all I want to say about relationship because I sense that's all I should say. Okay. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Abraham. Oh, it was so beautiful. Like my whole chest was like burning with heat. That was so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Does it take a
And
lot of energy for you? Like, do you feel depleted afterwards or do you feel energized? Because I know everyone's a little different.
I just drink a lot of water. The only part she takes over me is just this part, and I could sense her here only. So I can't really, like, I feel this tightness around my face when she
Yes.
comes through. So I don't know if she said was on point, but yeah.
Very much so, and just so beautiful. And I'm very intuitive as well, and I feel a shift in you. And since our last conversation, your energy is effervescent, and I feel like you're that way in general. But there's definitely something different with this connection that is bringing something out of you, and it's just like shimmering, shining light. Like I absolutely love it. I'm excited for
Thank
you,
you.
and I'm excited
Yes.
for the way that it's going to help your clients because we talked a lot about that desire to serve. And when we excavate what is needing healing within ourselves, it's like the first thing you want to do is like give that away to someone else so badly. So, how exciting
Right.
for you that you get to kind of add this component to your modalities. I love it.
Right. Yeah, it's been amazing. Like within this 1 week has been a lot. So I feel that's the also the reason why I have been crying a lot with my daughter. Like a lot of emotional stuff has been happening. My old self has been going and the new identity has been coming for me, but it's been a battle between these two. So, but at the same time, like it's amazing. Like, right, when we have something new, like the old has to release. So a lot of childhood stuff has been releasing for me. Like when I sense something is like triggering me, which has been a lot, and I'm like, okay, so this is stuff that needs to be released. So a lot of releasing has been happening actually within this 1 week, a lot.
Well, and we're having this conversation on 11/11, and
Right.
this portal is so much about releasing what no longer serves us, making space for that highest expression of self. So the timing of this is really beautiful too.
Yeah,
Did
when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is what I want. Just,
yes. I remember us talking about you were like, I picked 11/11 on the calendar.
yeah. I was so excited about that because, for me, lately these numbers has been showing a lot, like 11, 11, 2, 2, 4, 4s, and it's been like amazing. It just feels good. I don't really dive too much deep into it, but I just know that when I see that, my spirit guides, the universe is there backing me up, and whatever needs to come will just come.
Yeah. We talked a little bit last time about how growth is this spiral of expansion and contraction. And I think when you learn to communicate with your spirit guides, there's often, like you said, like you will expand into that, but then sometimes old stuff comes up, but it's for you. It's for you to move through and to transition through those cycles of contraction and expansion. So having all of that stuff come up sounds like it's really a beautiful opportunity.
Right. Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's not easy. Like when there's transitions and everything is happening, it's not easy transition. But once you get on the other side, it's going to be like an amazing feeling. I mean, I've been through a transition already last week. That was like a whole different transition. This transition is like a whole different level, I would say, like especially like you said, connecting with the spirit guides, connecting with the spirituality like in a more like up leveling way. It just changes your life like so much.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the business side because I know I asked you how you're going to like use this in your business, but do you sense yourself creating different content now? Do you sense yourself like, do you have different desires for the way that you're putting yourself out there? Like, how do you feel like the Money Par brand is going to change around this new connection?
Yes, I mean the content right now, the way it's shifting now. I mean, it's still staying to the focus on making people realize like how powerful they are. I still make content a little bit still about relationships, but it's it's still like shifting to the point where it's still taking a little bit of the old within with itself and just remixing the new a little bit. So at the end of the day, even the old work I was doing was like up leveling yourself. So this one is still up leveling yourself, trusting yourself. It's just done in a way where I just add different tools now with like spirituality, like Abraham, doing light languages. I add my pendulum and my card and whatever coaching, like usually whatever the coaching people get on the session, they're so channeled. The messages that comes through me is like channeled. It's not like I'm just randomly reading through like a like a script or something that I do with a different client. Like every call has been different. Like the coaching that has been that is I've only done it like six this last week. So I have like so much data on that because it's different for everyone. Everyone that came through the call had different coaching, different channel messages. Everything was different. Healing was different. And knowing that it can be curated in a way like for people like because everybody's different, right? We cannot just have this create something and then just put it in someone else's like it fits everyone. And I think that's something I had to struggle with because that's what I wanted for my business. I wanted something that's one everybody come through the academy watches it and then I talk to them. Sadly the universe said no, it's not going to work that way.
You and I were in the same boat because as a graphic designer, the first thing that I wanted to do when I started my business was my website. And I had this like clear cut plan, and this was going to feed into that. And then there was going to be this whole process. And although I had great intentions, my very first client kind of blew that up like dynamite. And it was a beautiful thing. I wasn't disappointed, but it's so right that we have this unique opportunity to meet people where they're at. And it could be physical blockages, it could be emotional blockages, it could be subconscious false beliefs, it could be energetic blockages. I deal with people who have ancestral trauma all the time, and they are shocked. They're like, I don't understand how something that I didn't even live through in this lifetime can be affecting me now. And it's really the beauty of like what we do. It's not always going to be the thing that you think it's going to be, but
Right,
we'll get there through this tailor-made approach.
right. No, that's true. Like for me, like I also have I forgot I have Reiki as well. So I use Reiki through the healing. I mix it together. Now, since Goddess of Light wanted to come through, so I'm like, why don't I use her in the healing session when we're doing the healing for these clients? So I call them in as a collective, and sometimes like the first ever one I've done, only two people wanted to show up for this specific client. But I do this together with light language and do a little bit of Reiki. When I do light language, I like to move my hand around. I have tons of energy in my hand, and I love that about my, but I have to move it around. I'm not the type of person that could just sit through and just do stuff. I need to move it. If I couldn't dance, I would probably dance it off too. Yeah.
I love
And
that.
actually today, I actually did a session with my daughter. I had no session today, so I was telling my daughter, I have a meeting today at 10. She's like, yeah, with who? I'm like, you. I have a session with you today. She's like, okay. So we got on I set everything up like I would do for my clients. This was person like in front of face, so this was like a different experience, and she's a kid, so I was kind of making sure it wouldn't overwhelm her too much, but Abraham still wanted to come through and talk to her, so I still had her listen to Abraham. And I did not do any, I would say she did not need no card reading. I don't think so. She needed that. She needed more healing, goddess of light. I did like two healings because for her eczema, she has like her skin is like like not good. Like she has this redness all over her face. So we did a healing for that with my light language, Reiki, everything. And while we were doing that, we realized that she wasn't believing in herself, that she can actually heal herself. Like, yeah, like Abraham wanted her to understand she has this, and the way Abraham talked to her was like so amazing. I remember, usually I don't remember stuff, but with her, Abraham was telling her she has this magic potion in her body that could just heal her. She just needs to trust that that magic potion is just. She's like, she didn't understand that, so Abraham was like, how witches they're like making their potion in the pot. She's and that's what's in your body right now. They're making the potion for you. Okay. She's like, okay, that's cool. And it was nice because my daughter does have spirit guides. So she kept on asking me, like, who is my spirit guides? And she has like one big dog, like all shaggy dog. And I saw like two, three other spirit guides for her and two puppies. And all she wanted to know was what kind of dog it was and what kind of puppies they were. What kind of breed were they? I'm like, stay focused, Sadie. Or Sadie. I'm like, Sadie, stay focused. She was like, okay, okay.
I love
So
that. I feel like kids are much more in tune, especially of this age. Like there's definitely a generation of very special children on the planet right now, and I see it a lot with all. I have three. I have a 1 year old, a 4 year old, and a 7 year old. My 4 year old is the most unbridled, just free spirit. And it is very hard for her to live within the confines of society. And I know that you homeschool, which is beautiful
yes.
because if you're trying to cultivate this openness, I can imagine where being in a traditional school environment, those things might clash a little bit.
Right, it would. And knowing that, like, I have the power to homeschool. Like, it's not easy to homeschool because I was not homeschooled. I went to public school. My husband did too. And knowing that we decided to homeschool our daughter was first initially, of course, it was just a pandemic. And then it just became like, why can't we just homeschool her? Like, we have more freedom. I stay home. I couldn't teach her. And I think it also came from one of the teachers saying that when she was in first grade, that she couldn't read at that time, that there was some behavioral issues with her, which I was not willing to accept because I feel like every kid is at a different learning stage. So I took matters into my own hand and tried to homeschool her, which was not easy. It was difficult. This is my second year homeschooling her myself. So it is so much better. It's kind of like the journey when we first started business, where we're trying to control everything. The first year, I was trying to control everything, like plan everything out to the T. We only homeschool like, 2 hours, 3 hours, trying to do three, four subjects in one day. Now I'm just really relaxed. I wake up in the day and see what are we doing? And if I don't have time to homeschool today, then we do it tomorrow. Right. And then sometimes she comes to me like, can I do math today? I'm like, okay. And then next day she's like, can I do math again? I'm like, sure, let's do it. It's more easy
It
than,
goes back to that flow state.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
like,
that flow of like honoring your energy at that moment. They teach
yeah.
us
And
so much.
right. And then knowing that she actually has the freedom to like be imaginative, like play with whatever she wants to play. Like she makes like blind bags. She's very artistic. You can tell like the way she does stuff. And it's nice to see that she has time for that. Because if she was going to school, I don't know if she would have time to see what she truly enjoys doing. And while it's not going to stay as the same, but it's just something like as she gets older, she won't. I feel like I don't want her to miss her childhood. Does that make sense? Like there's
Absolutely.
I want to make sure. I mean, I can't give her all. No parent can give their child everything. I'm pretty sure she's gonna have something to release when she gets older, but hopefully it won't be as much as we had to. So,
I go through the same thing all the time, and I just have to tell myself that at least I'm trying to do better than what I received as a child. And, that's what this human experience is for. We are here in this third dimension to navigate all frequency of emotion and experience. And something that's been really important for me with motherhood, but also motherhood as it relates to business, is just really riding out those waves of like feeling like I'm failing, feeling like I'm giving too much to my business and not enough to my children, and then flip flop, like I'm giving way too much to myself and not enough to my marriage or whatever it is. Like just finding that balance. It's fluid. It's really something that is different every single day. So I love to hear that she's just like, today I want to do this. And it's like, beautiful. Let's cultivate that. Let's
right.
give that whatever support that we need to let you move in that direction.
Yeah. And I think that's what has made it easier to homeschool as well. Just letting her have fun with it. And, I don't try to focus too much on these like ideas of her sitting down for hours and hours. I mean, the longest I feel like she could sit down is maybe an hour. And I rather have her sit for 1 hour and learn everything that she can at that moment than we sit for hours and hours and she gets nothing through her head, right? So this is a learning process that was for me because I'm more like I'm a I'm a perfection. I used to be a perfectionist. I say used to because I'm not anymore. I
You're a
used
recovering perfectionist.
yes, I'm recovering. And I would get irritated like so easily. Like, how come she can't say this? How come she doesn't know this? And it's like it's new to her, right? So of course it's gonna take time for her to understand. But for me, it's like right perfect. I would make her race. This is when I was still figuring it out, like a race, right better.
Yeah, I understand completely. Well, I mean, it's indicative of that really rigid upbringing that you probably had, where you probably had to erase and rewrite a lot in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know where that comes from because, like I said, I even probably as a kid, I just took care of myself on my own. I figured things out on my own. And I felt like that was probably part of it that I feel like I need to, like, kind of forcing her to learn things on her own. And I think it just happens slowly. That's what's going to happen for her. So, you know, at the end of the day, like, I'm here. I'm like, I need to focus on myself. you know?
Yeah, self-care is
she
important.
she's gonna learn when she needs to learn. Let me just like she's reading now, so like she's gonna read like one day. She's gonna wake up, she'll read everything, she'll know all the math problems. Great, now what? At least I couldn't worry about myself this time.
Yeah. You and I talked a lot about relationships as mirrors and how often the way we're feeling towards someone is often a reflection of something going on with us. Do you get that sometimes with
Oh
Sadie?
yes. Well, yeah, I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
that it was like last week, right? I was like crying and all that. And I feel like for me, it was a hard learning process for me. So I would say on last year is where my other relationships, I had difficulties with a lot of my other close relationships, right? Feeling the need to be heard, feeling the need to be correct, feeling the need to be right, feeling the need to be like, hey, I just want nothing to do with you. Like it was a lot. But last year I let go a lot because what I understood that time, and if hopefully someone's listening to this understand, is that the day you understand that it has nothing to do like what you said, it's not to change them. Okay. When you take your control back, but like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with this person. Okay. This person is who he, she is. And either I accept them, either I don't. Okay. It's not you about wanting to change them. It's about, hey, you know what? What can I work on me? What can I change about me? So that way I don't have to go through what I'm going through in this relationship. And I'm not talking about changing yourself. I'm talking about there's certain stuff that happens in a relationship. Let's just say people pleasing, right? I think that's like the biggest thing, right? So maybe you need to stop people pleasing, right? Yeah, in the beginning they might not like you. They might, I mean, I went through this stage where people didn't like me and I let them not like me because that's how you need to be. You need to create these boundaries with people because for you to feel the way you are feeling, that means you're letting these people cross the boundaries where they are triggering you, where you think you need to change them when it's actually you.
You cannot change the world. You have to change the way you move through it. And I'm a big
Right.
fan of this because as a chronic people pleaser, I grew up with a super narcissistic father. Uh, we won't go into that, but it made me a chameleon. And I noticed throughout my life in my 20s and very much so in my 30s when I was trying to please this all these different people in my professional world that I had completely lost sight of my own voice, my own truth.
Right.
And I could not change them no matter what I did, and I could not please them no matter what I did. And
Right.
it was truly a process of, well, why am I trying to get them to change? What is it in them that I'm uncomfortable with? Where is this discomfort rooted? Is it fear of abandonment? Is it, and I think for me, a lot of the chakra system, like understanding all the different energy centers, was a huge part of my awakening, um because I had to be in balance in order for my relationships to be in balance.
Right. No, that's true. And I feel like that's, I think majority of us have grown up with this conditioning that other people is the main focus. When you start putting the focus on you, and I don't know if I said that earlier, you get to be the controlling factor, right? You get to decide how you feel. You get to decide how people make you feel because you took your control back. But when you start talking and looking at people like, oh wow, this person's this, he's doing this to me, he's doing that. I mean, that's not going to change and nothing's going to change. And I've been in that position before where I'm sitting here waiting for people to change. And while I'm waiting, I'm the one that's getting hurt. I'm the one that's getting being used, mistreated, all these things. And I'm just sitting here, it's okay. They will learn from their mistakes. They will change. They will change. And uh it's it's been a long time for me to understand, but last year I finally like, you know what? I accept these people for who they are. Period.
Yeah,
That's it.
no,
If
that's
you
it.
can if you can just say that, and I feel like that's when everything starts unfolding for you. And everybody will have their own different experience, but you could just keep on reminding yourself that's just who they are. That's how I accept them. And then you start working on yourself. It
And it
just
also
automatically
takes it
happens.
from being such a personal attack. Like it also like pivots their
Yeah.
behavior. It's no longer so personal. Now it is
Mhm.
their expression, how they are moving through life. And I can have compassion for that because perhaps I've been in that position before. And you can almost see if they're operating from some kind of wound and have love for that and really see the humanity or the see the humanness in their behavior,
Right.
when you realize it's not about you.
Right. And I think for me, especially if someone's like coming from a cultural background, because my parents, like, growing up in Indian family, it was hard for me to understand certain stuff. I would always complain, like, they're always favoring my brother, why don't they love me? Why don't they like prioritize me? And it always felt like, oh, it's probably a boy or a girl thing, and that was part of where that woman empowerment thing came in my head, or like, yeah, Indian women need to be empowered. But of course my business did not set well with that, because it wasn't right, because our parents, especially my parents, they got whatever they learned from their parents, and their parents learned whatever they learned from their parents. So knowing that their daughter is doing completely different, and I'm expecting one day to wake up, hey, you guys better change right now and I understand what the heck I'm talking about. To them it's like, no, this is not what we have learned, and they want to make sure they were passing on the same teaching from their parents. So at that time, I did not understand that. But now I understand it. Like, it's okay for my parents to not approve of my marriage for with my husband, right? It's okay if they didn't want to talk to me. That's fine. They didn't talk to me for 3 years, but that's perfectly fine, because that's the choice they made. But I made a choice for myself, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go marry this guy. I'm gonna stand up for what I want, and I let my parents deal with whatever they need to. But I felt like I started understanding them, like, recently, like last year. Yeah. And even though I don't understand them, I think I just allow them to be who they want to be, and that's perfectly fine. As long as we keep our focus on ourselves. And I think that's the main priority. Like, being in this spirituality, I think that's the main thing, is like we just focus on ourselves, right? We wake up in the morning, right? We do stuff for ourselves. We want to nurture ourselves. Like, we eat the food for us. Like I am the priority, right? Whatever is going on somebody else's head, even that's your parent, so freaking what is that going to do for me? Nothing. Even if they change and they get better, what am I going to get out of it? Right.
Well, and I also think it's a cycle, or I think it's circular. When you care for yourself, you're allowing yourself to care for others, and it becomes, how can I serve? But you can't serve the collective if you have not served yourself. You can't heal others if you're operating from a place that you haven't healed yet. And so, yeah, take care of yourself and focus on how you are moving through. And one of the most compassionate things that you can do is allow someone else to move through how they want to move through. And so it's
Right.
it's like connected. I, I think sometimes people get it wrong that it's a selfish thing to care for themselves. And I think
Mhm.
we've been conditioned to think that. And it's part of the paradigms that we live in with our culture and our society, that to take care of yourself is this incredibly selfish, self centered thing. But it is the only thing that enables you to provide service to others. It's the only
Right.
thing that strengthens you enough to have boundaries,
Mhm.
to have active compassion. I mean,
Right.
it's like pivotal. Talk to me a little bit about boundaries, because I feel like you would be an expert on boundaries.
Well, boundaries are like amazing thing. I felt like one thing also came through I wanted to say was, um, helping people is a great thing. And I'm a very empathetic person and a very compassionate person for other people. I want to like change the world, help people. If I see someone hurting and painful, I want to help. I want to run and help. Like, I feel their pain. And if you are someone that loves to help people, I just hope you help people because they are asking for help. See, there's a difference, right? There's a difference where you are trying to help people versus when people come to help. Like, they come to you because they need your help. I have made very stupid mistakes in the past where I would sometimes people just want to share their feelings. Like, they just want to, you know, let me know like what they're going through. I take it upon me without them asking me that I need to help them. Right. And that's where that, helper and compassion person comes in. But I realized this is where my boundaries came in place. We're like, no, I'm not going to bend backwards to help people just for them not to even listen to me. And they don't listen to me. I have great advices for people, but it's not that they don't listen to me. It's my stupidity that I want to help them and they're not even asking for my help. And then I sit there and complain, oh, they're not even listening to me, right? Like, who asked you in the first place? So this is where it was my learning process for me. Like, yeah, I need to set boundaries with helping, because especially people that are into like healers, spirituality, we love to help people. And knowing that now, like, I only help people because they want my help. They come to me, like, people message me, like, now, like, I offered this session with people because they needed the session with me. I didn't just go and tell people, hey, you need the session with me, take it. Right. um they came to me, so this is where that energy exchange is actually better, where I'm wasting my energy and the other person is just doing nothing about it. Right? You want the right, it's like you want the right candidate for your helping process you want to do. And with the relationship, the boundaries come into play by, I would say, just listening to yourself and understanding what makes you feel good. So if I don't feel like going out, I'm not gonna go out. Like, it does not bother me if somebody calls me lazy, calls me like, I have people and family member calling me, oh, you're getting so old, like, you don't go want to go out, you just stay home. And that does not bother me at all. I'm like, yeah, sure, I am an old soul, so I'll take that. you know I'm fine. I love staying home. I love spending time with my family. And I think it's just being unbothered by people's comments. It's usually comments, people, that triggers a lot of us. You have these boundaries set so like strong, not to block people, but just to protect yourself. Because I understand the level I'm at, they're not there. Okay. Like, I'm doing completely different. Like, let's just say I have a friend, like someone that's just, I don't have much friends. It's just if. So I don't have any friends. So if we have,
I
I
think
have
you're gonna have a lot more friends after this podcast.
I'm like, just if like people are thinking, oh, she has friends that go out. No, this is just like imagination. Okay. I have an imaginary friend that goes out.
They're extra dimensional beings. There's thousands of them.
Right. So this person is going out and I like to stay home. And there's nothing wrong with either one of us. It's just I'm doing completely different stuff and I'm at a different stage of my life versus this imaginary friend of mine, right? She just wants to have fun. Maybe when she gets to that stage, she might be doing what I'm doing, but right now she's not. And I think that's where accepting people for who they are, just letting them be. And I felt like that's like the biggest boundaries that you could use, is just letting people be who they want to be. If they want to be a gossiper, great, good for you. You want to be a complainer, great, good for you. Like, just leave me alone. That's all I say. Right.
Well, and we've just been through the US presidential election, what, last week?
Right.
And I think we have all had some challenging moments where we just kind of have to let people express themselves and let them say what they want to say. And I grew up in a very liberal community, especially in college. I was in a very liberal container, and I'm now in a very conservative container. And I have watched horrible and disgusting behavior from both sides. And
Mhm.
you really just have to navigate that with this compassionate neutrality, but strong boundaries. It's like, I will listen to you and hold space for your grief or for your finger pointing. But my boundary is that when it becomes cruel or mean spirited or offensive, like, I'm just going to have to say, I love you, but I can't. And just
Mhm.
really I don't know. I would love to hear if Abraham has anything to say to the collective, especially because of what has been going on in our universe.
Right. I feel like, yeah, a lot has been going on, right? When it comes to politics, I don't really get into that. Like my husband like does like he tried to talk about it, and all I say was like, okay, I'm gonna go watch TV.
It's a challenge. It
And
really
then
is.
like my husband tells me like, don't you want to know what's going on in the world? Not really. I mean, I will send my loving energy to the world. At least I will do something about it. I mean, anything. I'm one person, but I'm pretty sure there's more people like me. All they're doing is sending love energy to every single one in this world. Politics and all that, I don't have room for that. It does not make sense to me, and I don't try to make it sense to me in the first place. Because I have nothing to say, like nothing. And yeah, so when my husband talks about when he watches news, I just walk out of the room, and he knows that,
Mhm.
and he does not bother me anymore. He tried to talk to me about it before, tried to have an argument with me before, and all I say was like, okay, sure, okay.
Well, it's great that the two of you can respect each other's differences in that way. And for me, it's the same thing where I feel like I operate in two different worlds where I'm in this 3D matrix. I understand that there is this incredibly unfair two-party system that we have to live within, and that it is a system that has been around for a long time, and it just kind of is what it is. And yes, I care about what is going on in the world, but also I'm simultaneously holding this perspective that we are so much more than this three-dimensional reality, that this is not the be all end all of our experience, that there is a huge, massive, multi-layered existence playing out in the cosmos, in the galaxy, throughout space-time. And it's hard to have those conversations with like my in-laws who are very much, they're traditional Christians, and it's walking that fine line of like, I honor and value your beliefs, your perspectives, but I also honor and value my beliefs and perspectives, and I feel like I have to operate in both worlds. So it's
Yeah,
really challenging.
and
But
I think that's exactly what we have to do, especially the type of things we're doing now, being in this spirituality. I don't explain things to people of what I'm doing because I don't feel the need to. Uh, I don't I don't have to. Like, if you want to learn about what I'm doing, you can come and ask me. I'm not going to come and tell you. And regardless of what your opinions are, it really doesn't matter because I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing anyways. So, I mean, I, it's like, it's not that I have that, oh yeah, I have that I don't care type of energy when it comes to that. Like, I don't really care. Like, you do yourself, you do what you have to do. I'm happy for you. Just let me be, and I know it's not easy for everyone to do this, to be at this position. And I feel like for me, like it's just I feel like I've been through like so much already, heartaches, pain. I mean, not a lot, I would say, but in my eyes, it felt like it was a lot, and someone might have went through more or less. It really doesn't matter. All you need to know is that like you just have to love yourself and give you whatever you want to do. If you're a spirituality person and you like to go out, that's pretty cool. You like going clubbing, that's you. That's the whole thing about living in this human experience is you get to be whoever you want to be, right? If spirituality is not even anything you want to do, there's perfectly fine, right? We're all here to do what we like. We're all here to do our own thing in this world, right? We all came in this role in a term of like, hey, we want to have this human experience, but some of us are getting reminded to get back to our spirituality, and that's it. There's nothing wrong with either of the two things. Like, I don't even know what I was talking about, but yeah.
no, you had some beautiful golden nuggets in there, and I think something that came up for me when you were saying that is that, like, it's not indifference. Neutrality is the utmost respect for our individual expressions, freedoms, beliefs, backgrounds, stories. It is being neutral and really just allowing everything to be as it is. It's not caring. I mean, you can say, like, I just don't care. And it is kind of that energy of just like, it's not that I don't care, it's that I don't care. It's like it's like I care so much that I don't care what you do because I care for you so much as individual humans on your individual path. I don't care what you do. And it's that, like, I honor free will and the journey of self-discovery so much that I
Yeah.
can't get invested in these little squabbles, even big squabbles between these groups of collective thinkers, because I feel like it is so much bigger than that. But yeah,
Right.
I would love to
That's
hear more from
Abraham.
Abraham. I like
Okay.
the warming of the hands. Tell me a little bit about your process.
Okay, well, let's see what Abraham has to say to everyone. Give her a minute to come through because she wanted to come earlier, but I was like, wait.
Sorry, Abraham, that was my fault.
No, we were both so into the conversation.
I don't want to upset Abraham.
No, she's good. Okay,
Love you,
let's see.
Abraham.
Hi, everyone. Thank you again for having me here. I have a lot of message as collective for this interview. One thing I want to say is whoever is listening to this message is for you because you have been guided to this. And this message is to let you know enough. Enough is enough, meaning you do not need to struggle. You don't have to go through anything. Majority of you that are watching are experiencing some pain. I sense a lot of pain in the heart. But you are all loving human being, right? We have to understand that we have to love ourselves. We cannot let this 3D world distract us. I did understand that there are certain event that has happened that has caused some pain into so many of you, but that's not even the whole thing. That is just a speck of what is happening in this world, a tiny speck. You are a light, a human that needs to experience so many beautiful things. Go out in the nature, listen to these birds chirping, because that's what you should experience, the bright sunlight. The human experience is meant to experience the whole full love with nothing but love. The hard part about it is letting things get to us, to know that we are not able to experience this. We let struggles, right? Some of you have jobs that are putting you down, that is making you not fully joy that you should experience in this body of yours. I want you to second guess this of what you're doing, because it might not be the path for you to be in this situation. Figure out what brings that joy back. Go out there, like I said, be in the environment, hang out with your friends, families that brings love to you. What can be more important than that? It's such a small little thing, yet we overcomplicate it with these small little speck in your life. We should not go that route. We should not go that route. All of you have to experience this world in a way that is meant. I would say politics, news, right? Everything that has been hurting you, burdening you, bringing you down. That is the small speck I'm talking about. That is nothing. Open your eyes to what matters the most. And that is when you will actually experience the change in your life. You will actually attract what you are meant to have in your life, the relationship, the career, the financial abundance. The answer is there in front of your eyes. It's so easy, but so hard to understand. Ask from guidance, from whoever you need to ask guidance from, and listen. Listen to what is truly in your heart, because again, we are here to enjoy, be in that joy moment of this human experience. Nothing but that. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Abraham.
I
I get
know.
the tingles. I love it. Have you ever recorded yourself channeling?
I have to for my class.
Oh, of course, you had told me about that. And
Yeah.
you had to dance and do light language for your class too, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I had for the light language to get the certificate. I had, well, she was on the call, so I just did it. And then for trans channeling, she wants us to trans channel like once a week and put it in the Facebook group. So, I mean, yeah, I have no
You've
problem with
inspired
it.
me. I'm very clairvoyant, and I used to get a lot of imagery that I couldn't put words to. And I have this book, it's called Opening to Channel, and it's from like 1992. And so you've inspired me to get
Right.
back into the book.
I mean, I've like I felt like my clairs are opening up slowly. So before I would just have feeling and sensations.
Yeah.
Now I have like pictures, like visions. This started off actually last week on Friday. One of my client, um, and I'm hearing things. Um, so the client, when I was preparing for her session, I heard grandmother. I'm like, shit. Does her grandmother want to be in this session? So it was my first time experiencing this. I'm like, what do I do? Do I ask her? So I'm like, you know what? Let's just channel Abraham first. So I tried channel Abraham. Of course, it's always on point with Abraham. And then when I got done and she was just talking, I'm like, wait a minute, before I forget, what is this with your grandmother? Right. And she's like, oh yeah, my grandmother is the one that was taking care of me. Right. She passed away. I'm like, okay, well, she wants to be here. She has to say stuff to you. And it
I love
was
that.
it was an amazing experience. And when while we were doing I was doing this healing for her, I saw a lion wearing a crown, and it totally was representing her, the client, being the lion. And I told her, like, while I was doing your healing session, I saw a lion. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, what? She's like, you're gonna go crazy. I'm like, she showed me her arm. She had a lion tattooed.
That is awesome. That
Like,
is so cool. Well, money part, or can I say money, or is it money?
money is fine. Money.
Money. Because when
Yeah.
I saw Mani, I was like, money, but
Yeah.
money part.
Well, Facebook won't allow me to use money because they think I'm a scammer.
Oh, of course. I understand.
They're like, who the heck would name themselves money? So
Well,
they're
this
probably
has been like the best conversation, and I feel like there's definitely going to be a part two. Um, you have so many beautiful gifts to offer and so much healing to give the world and humanity. How do people get in touch with you and find out more about you?
yes. I mean, the great places to Instagram, TikTok, money.par. Just find me there and look for me there. I'll be there.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank
Yeah.
you enough, and thank Abraham.
Yes.
This has been incredible. And yeah, thank you for this.
Thank you so much for allowing this. I mean, I would say this is my first podcast, um, and especially with this business, and I feel like what would be a better place than be with you? And I felt like we connected so well.
We
Yeah.
that first
uh,
phone call could have gone on for like 2 hours.
yes. I mean, that could have been a podcast itself, right? So, yeah. So I just want to say thank you and
My
allowing me
pleasure.
to do this opportunity. And yes, and Abraham was, yeah. I mean, people, the audience that are listening to it will let us know what they felt about it.
Absolutely. They need to comment and let
uh,
us know what came
did you
through.
want me to end with the like language healing?
Yes, yes,
I forgot
absolutely.
about that. I
Please.
totally forgot. At least the healing for whoever needs this, as a
Yes.
collective, because if since there is people that needs the healing, um, it's usually quick. So yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful way to
Okay.
end. Thank you.
Thank you. Taratako ti shini hatarako ni ni hato kana tarato ni hiko. Ashanana no taranako to ni hato ni shiniko hatanaka naka. Ono na hatori hi ni hoko nakashi ni hataraka kanamoko. Ini ni hoko hoshi ni hataranaka tarako ho ni shini hiko na hatarako. Anana tori hi hi shi ni hi ataro kana atarara ko ti ni hi mi ni ha ko ni hi shi ni ha oto nakata o o ni shi ni ko nakata mako shi ni ha o naka no ho tarata ko shi ni to ti ni kata maka o shi harara ko tarana ko shi ni ha to na.
Oh,
Yeah.
money par. Thank you. I
Oh, thank you.
receive. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to be connected with you. And thank
Yeah.
you for your beautiful, beautiful gifts.
Thank you so much. This was
Let's
a great experience. And yeah, I would love to have another interview with you.
let's do it again.
I feel like this was not enough. It was so not enough for us. Yeah,
Maybe we're gonna have to do like a monthly series. We'll see.
I would love to do that. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much, my friend. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too.
I'll
Thank
talk
you.
to you soon.